develop your consciousness. To be conscious of yourself, it's superior skill. It's not soft skill. I need to be conscious about myself and also the impact that myself provoke to others.
Welcome to Keep IT Healthy podcast, a show hosted by people making things happen in technology, aiming to optimize healthcare delivery, health, well-being, and fitness. My name is Jan Kamiński and I'm the co-founder of AppLover, a company dedicated to improving the quality of life with IT solutions and digital advisory. We started making this podcast to amplify great thinking to propel healthcare forward. Hello. In the previous episode, I talked to Jaime Cervantes about scaling a business, succession, and value-based entrepreneurship. Today is the second part of our conversation. So, Jaime, welcome again.
Thank you very much, Jan, to have me here. I really enjoyed last conversation. It was very excited and very interesting. It's interesting to remember everything. Then, thank you for giving that opportunity.
I mean, we talked a lot about the business, the Vitalmex in the previous parts,
Yeah,
but we also started talking about your approach to business. And I know you have been always focused on the humanistic approach in
right.
business, but
Mhm.
is it something that developed over the years? And your new venture Liderálity comes from that passion for humanistic approach of business. So could you expand this idea?
Before that 20 years working in Beetlemex, that it was a great platform to learn about how to lead. Now, first, how to lead myself, because when you are CEO of such a big company, you miss or you lost yourself in some kind of I say vicious, I can say. No, for example, the narcissistic part. It's one of the most important, probably, cancers of leadership, because, well, when you are in such a big company, everyone want to do something with you. Your collaborators, the vendors, the suppliers, the banks, etc. No, then power is one of the most difficult things to manage. No, then I learned that 20 years that people is first, but at the end you are the one that you need to take care about yourself. When you are in a CEO position, you are very, how to say, alone. No, a big responsibility is in your shoulders. That responsibility you feel in your shoulders, but you have that responsibility in your mind and in your heart, and somehow your spirit started to decrease the joyful of how to work. No, then when I started that humanistic side, it was because I studied around 25 years uh, this alternative knowledge of holistic way how to manage yourself, in consciousness, etc., etc. But I try to apply that in Vitalmex, but with not enough time, because I was operating the business and running the business, and in the same time I was trying to develop something that help our people to be better. No, my team and I created an index that it's a marvelous way of lead a company. It's a very little dashboard that we can say that it's a welfare index, not wellness. Wellness is included, of course. Um, Economically perspective is included, but the welfare index is how you can deploy the potentiality of the people, even yourself, based in the real needs that they have individually. That's the humanistic first stage. And after that, well, I studied two master's degrees, one in Spain, that is executive and positive leadership program. And the second one, it's a human development in Mexico, in the University of Iberoamericana. And well, with these two master's degrees, I started to develop the theory a new model of humanistic leadership. Based, of course, in a lot of references of the old theoretical guys that really wrote that. Like, for example, Martin Heidegger, or Martin Buber, or I can say Carl Rogers, Viktor Frankl, etc. A lot of intellectual people that rationalize the way how to measure or how to deploy the human potentiality through something, business or any kind of activities. Then, well, that's a part. That's why I developed this humanistic leadership, and now Liderality is born, was born.
Academia Liderality is essentially a training program, right? Like, could you expand on this idea? It's a school, it's a training program. Like, what is it exactly?
Liderality Academy, it's a space in which every leader can develop their potential, human potential, in with a very wide attitude perspectives. We believe, I believe that comportamental behavior leadership is the best one to really deploy any kind of project that you have in mind. Why? Because you require to establish some attitudes and some tools that really help you to face the reality in a different perspective. And well, we created a program that really teach the leaders how to deploy these attitudes, um, based in their own needs. Liderality, it's a focus center person program. Then I interview each leader, and then I feel with a lot of intuition and a lot of knowledge how to do that. I feel the requirements or the needs of the person, and then we design a program that is not completely personalized. It's probably 85% standard, but the 50% is focused in the potential of the person. And then, well, we start, it's around, we have two programs. One, it's 2 years and a half program that this is no is low knowledge, because if we talk about behaviors or attitudes, we need first to cancel all the conditionings that we learned during our life. We are very conditioned, how to manage ourselves. No, our parents taught us something. Our school taught us something. Our society, uh, uh, how say, rules the way how you need to behave, and then you need to separate yourself from that, and then it takes time. It takes time. We need to how say in English, to deconstruct yourself first, to start really deciding or choosing new attitudes that really help you to lead something, a project or a group of person or um, a company, etc. Yeah.
But these are leaders that you are referring to. These are leaders in companies, like from the business area, right?
Well, I have several profiles in the program. The most of them are companies. We are oriented. Um, the chosen population that we decided to focus as a niche, it's of course corporate leaderships, right? And owners, founders, CEOs, or everyone that is inside of a company that has the responsibility to guide people. And hear this, not to instruct people, to guide people, to serve people. Then 90% of our students are corporate leaders. But I have also ONG organizations, or I have a program in the government, and I have also one-to-one mentorship programs, etc. Entrepreneurs. but most of them are corporate leadership. Yes.
With that, could you give us like more insights on the like how you assist in the training of those leaders and companies? Because is it would you be rather on the mentorship side or rather MBA kind of side in that?
We have two programs. What one program it's only slow knowledge, and it will take 2 years and a half. That program doesn't have a degree; it's only knowledge, and the companies like that because well, we can put inside of a classroom at least 30 people. Then our idea is that knowledge should be accessible for everyone. Then our prices are very accessible for companies, and we are trying to scale the knowledge to as more as we can, as more as leaders as we can in the program. No, that's why that program is low knowledge, 2 years and a half. But we are creating probably in the next June or July, we will be ready to have an specialty, not a master. I don't want to compete with universities, etc. I want to, or we want to have an specializations in humanistic leadership. You know, have you ever heard about hard skills or
Yeah,
soft
before.
skills? Okay, then the humanistic specialty it's more focused in soft skills, but I don't like that word soft because there's not soft. If we talk about empathy, we cannot say that it's soft. It's very hard to be empathetic leader. If we're talking about how to use vulnerability as an opportunity to have a bonding, well, what the hell do you think it's a soft skill? Use your vulnerability to be assertive. No, use your vulnerability to communicate with efficiency, with a human side, not only with a professional part. Now, if we're talking about how to manage your narcissistic way, well, the first thing that you need to do is to recognize that you are narcissistic. Now, then, and every one of us is narcissistic. But how to manage that? Well, that needs auto-regulation. Then, if we talk about auto-regulation and lead ourselves very inside, no, with a profound willingness of be a better person, be a better version of yourself. You need to be prepared to travel inside of your spirit and recognize that you are an imperfect and perfect guy. No, that duality will lead you to be a better person. But you need to have auto-regulation. You need to have, well, Goleman says, emotional intelligence. No, but emotional intelligence, it's like, I mean, it's not enough. You need emotional intelligence, you need spiritual intelligence, and you need rational intelligence all together. And then you use your brain and your heart to connect with the people, but recognizing that you are also imperfect.
You would say that this is what differentiates this training academia from all the others is that you focus on the soft skills, or what are the other differentiators?
The differentiator is how to learn new behaviors, no, how to be diverse leadership, how to be an empathetic leadership, how to use the organizational justice to create a great environments, how to use, for example, this consciousness to auto-regulate yourself, how to use the communication as a light instead of a darkness inside of any kind of project. It could be a company, or it could be yourself, or it could be your family. But you know, the communication, a lack of communication is the cancer of everyone. Of course, the differentiation is to learn philosophically, psychologically, anthropological, and sociology, all that disciplines all together in our programs. You need to understand how to educate yourself to be a better person, and then put that person in a service for others, not in the other way. The differentiator is that a leader should be serving the people instead of the people serves the personal interest of the leader. Now I can tell you that in our organizations, leaders are in the opposite way. They think that everyone serves them, and we need to change that paradigm. No, if you have a talent, you should put that talent in service to others. You have a knowledge, you should put that talent in serving a purpose of others. No, your philosophy now need to be focusing how we can deploy the potentiality of our human side, fulfilling the real needs, as Maslow said. No, you have a pyramid of needs that you need to fulfill, but how to do that if you don't have an intrinsic motivation? Then the real leader guides the people to discover this intrinsic motivation, and then with the motivation completely installed, you will have productivity, you will have results, you have everything, because you know the existentiality in that moment right by itself. No, but the differentiator is that all the organizations are pushing the people with external motivators, like, for example, a bonus, or, for example, a big salary, etc. But it's a kind of manipulation, you see, because the real thing is, well, if I have people that is motivated by themselves, I don't need anything else. And then the results and the outcomes and the revenues and the profitability will come by itself without effort. Then how to do that? That's humanistic leadership.
That's interesting. And with the trainees, of course, because you mentioned the program lasts at least a year or two. Let's say I'm a manager and I want to attend. So how much time per month I need to allocate in that kind of training?
Our program is, as I mentioned you, it's a slow knowledge process. Then we invite our trainees or our students to be with us every 15 days. I mean, twice a month for 2 hours and a half, in which we really go deep to an attitude, and we study that attitude with a lot of materials that they can experience andrological way inside of the workshop. And then they have 15 days to, as a good wine, let it stand, okay, and taste what kind of things I reflects about that knowledge. And then we how say, in the student material, they have some activities that they need to do during that 15 days, and they come back and share with others. Then our training is designed andrologically. It's not for kids, it's for adults. The andrological way is for adults. Then the adults learns differently than kids. Then we try to give some theory, 25% of theory, not more. Then sharing, communication. Imagine a group of 30 people talking about diversity, for example, or inclusion, and then experience, with some homeworks. Instead of the specialty program, it's 50% theory. You need to have an evaluation of themselves. It's weekly. You need to invest eight hours per week, like any master degree, instead of the other one that is 2 hours and a half, plus the experience that you need to put during that 15 days. And then, well, the specialty, well, you have a degree at the end of the specialty is 1 year program, and it's shorter, and the humanistic leadership is 2 years and a half program.
Okay, and if you can share that, like what are the plans for the future? Where you want to go with this academia?
Liderality Academy wants to be the reference of humanistic leadership in Latin America. Why it's so difficult for me? If you see, my English is a little bit it's good, but it's not so good to express that kind of theoretical things. When you are
Sure.
about emotions, it's difficult to do that. Then I need to train someone that really manage this kind of humanistic knowledge in the language that it, then that's why we the first 7 years or 10 years we will be focused in Latin America to deploy the potentiality of the communication of our programs. And as if you see, Latin America has a lot of problems. For example, the inequality that exists between the rich guys, the owners of business, and the others, it's enormous. That's a great opportunity to start talking about humanistic side. No, well, how to decrease this gap? No, well, it depends of the owner. Then leaders are agents to transform the reality of the next generation society. Then that's a population that we're really excited to be. And also, the 80% of the little companies in Latin America are the responsibles of the economy of each country. Then these little businesses that doesn't have opportunity to invest in programs that are very expensive in Harvard, in Stanford, or even in Europe, they will have an option that inside of their facilities they will receive knowledge not only in the philosophical way. No, our program also touch business oriented things. We are merging the human side with the business. Imagine 20 years working in a company as a CEO. Of course, I cannot abandon all these Stanford, Harvard, and business things that I learned. No, the issue is that we use that knowledge, but with the humanistic side. No, well, you should be conscious of the impact of every decision, of every economical decision. If you will start using technology, first think in what will be the impact to the people. Second, if you will invest in a new factory, think what will be the impact in the environmental side. And then the social responsiveness is very, very, very hard core, how to say, pillar in our program. No, then please, if you are an owner, do not forget that you can do anything without people. Then put the people first. No, then that rationality or that consciousness should be um, how to say, should be the priority. Then Latin America, it's our priority right now. We are working in Mexico with 3 or 4 companies. We have one company in Guatemala. We have another contract in Argentina, and now we are opening probably one company more in Chile. And then, well, that's the way. No, that's the way. Step by step. In 1 year and a half, 2 years, we have 8 customers, 90 students, and a second generation. It's starting right now, and plus Vitalmex. No, that it's
Right.
my pillar. No.
I'm wondering also because you probably run it as well as a business. So what were the challenges or what are the challenges of scaling an academia, a training program like this in general in the Latam countries?
Well, the challenge is the budget of these companies. They imagine that when a company design a budget, they put at least as they can in human resources. Then the first thing is, well, how to approach to a leader that doesn't have the habit to think that they need to invest at least 2% of the revenue to human development. No, then, well, of course this first meeting is hard. What? 2% of our revenue? Yes. And then you will reduce your rate of rotation. Now, well, the first indicator is, well, in Vitalmex, as I mentioned you, we have 8.7 years of rotation average instead of the industry that is 2.3 months of rotation. No, how we can do that? Well, if you invest in the personal relationships, I mean, if you invest in how to satisfy the human needs of the collaborator, also the deploy their how to say, the potential in terms of human side and professional side knowledge, and security, dignify the work, the revenue will increase in 2 3 years. It's not as fast as they expected. No, the second challenge is, well, if I invest that, how much money I will receive in return, instead of how I will create welfare to everything, to all our stakeholders. It's completely different. You will receive money. If you invest in people, you will receive money. But the first question shouldn't be that. No, but we are conditioned to that. When I was in this business in this business universities, because I studied also business a lot. Well, the first line of priority is, well, this is a business, and we need to do money, instead of this is a business and it's a human platform of welfare. Now, then the third challenge should be, philosophically speaking, you should you should question yourself. What is my purpose of life? If I am an owner and I have 20 people in my responsibility, how can I help them to be better persons?
When I was researching, I saw that you have this you have this vision of let's say, or vision for rebuilding the social fabric um, through your work and through trainings like that. So probably this is what you're referring to, right?
Yeah, the social fabric is a wonderful metaphorical way to see. Fabrics are even earlier than our language. No, then when a fabric is broken, like for example the violence that we found in the world, the discrimination in racial things, the discrimination in gender identity, the female discrimination, the injustice in terms of poverty and richness. Well, guys, we are owners, we have resources, we have intelligence, we have talent. No, and the politicians are not doing their job as we want. Then the only way to change really this fabric of social welfare, it's in your circle. Then if you have 20, 100, 1,000 people, 20,000 people, that's your country, that's your new community. You need to think in, how can I create welfare for everyone, not only for me. If I accumulate my richness, I am like the other guys. I'm not thinking that I am responsible of these 1,000 families.
You want that to be considered as on the every level, let's say, not only SMBs, so smaller companies, but also corporates, public probably as well. So like you want this, I mean, you treat this as a philosophy in a sense of approaching the management style
Yeah,
as I see that. Okay.
yeah. But if I want to cover all the employees of a company, it will be impossible. That's why I mentioned you at the very beginning. Leaders are an agents, are the new prayers, are the new teachers, are the new political guys. Now, if we treat the leader as agents of social transformation, everything will be better for next generations. Yeah, I'm 51. I won't see this benefit until the next 25 years. And then, but my purpose is how to really help or develop a new harmonic, loved, and prosperity model of business for the next generations.
I mean, I love the vision. I love the idea, but I mean, I like the fact that you kind of wave the more corporate career, or let's say stopped it in a sense to get into a more of a educational field where you've probably seen your share of bad management in the past, right? Or let's say bad approach in that.
Bad
That's
approach
bad
instead
approach.
of
Not
management.
bad management, yeah, but bad approach is a better wording. But I want to get into the more personal angle as well, since I've been asking those questions to some entrepreneurs, and I know that a lot of them were connected with endurance sports as well. And when I read over your career, let's say path, I also saw that you were into endurance sports. Weren't you?
I was practicing triathlon.
Are you still doing that or not?
Well, I am only swimming, but very very hard. Now I am swimming. I like open water.
Uh-huh.
Then I will prepare next year a big competition that it will be 35 kilometers of swimming in a team. I will swim around 12 or 15 kilometers, and the others will do the rest. But I really love to swim right now.
But
And when I was in triathlon, well, I did 3 Ironmans
okay,
and 20 half Ironmans in all my career. But
20.
20. But they're somehow in your time life that you need to close cycles, and then, well, I'm exhausted right now of triathlon, and then I keep one of that three sports that is swimming, and I love it. It's like how to say, active meditation. You start swimming, and then you forget about everything, and your body knows how to do everything else. And then when you have a series or something with someone, with a team, you enjoy a lot life, and start thinking how to solve this, etc., etc. And then swimming, for me, it's a marvelous sport.
Yeah, I mean, that was my second question. Like, how did it impact you, and I mean, how it impacted your development as an individual or as a leader? But you mentioned a nice, a nice phrase, active meditation.
Yeah.
That's I like that.
Yeah, well, there are ones that like to have some kind of meditation. I love that meditation also. I practice mindfulness a lot. I will give up a course of mindfulness next week. uh, I love it, but I prefer active meditation. Then when you have, for example, a long series like 1,000 meters, you need to swim 26 minutes steady, no, steady like that. And then somehow you forget that you have a body. The body is doing automatically for 30 years. As well, I swam. Then I know how to swim. Then imagine 26 minutes thinking, solving, feeling
Yeah,
things, no, about your children, about your business, about your friends, about life, about your purpose. Then you have a lot of time to think, no? When you have short series, you don't have time. You need to follow the next guy, and you need to fulfill the timing that your coach is giving you. Then you are exhausted. But, well, sport is the only way to bring your good drugs in your body. How to say? Yeah, I can say good, not drugs. The good chemicals are required
yeah.
to be a better person. Endorphins, dopamines, etc. Now, then, sport is the only way, for me, I don't know for others, is the only way in which you can really detonate these chemicals, biological chemicals, in a positive way in your body and in your mind. And
Not true.
when I arrive to work, first, I am a little bit more exhausted. I burn energy. Then I am very active, and my energy is so high. And without sport, my narcissistic part or my intensive part comes immediately
That
visual. No, with sports, I can auto-regulate better my personality, my character. No, the character is a genetical part of you. You need to do something, some strategies, creative strategies, to control your character, and that's part of yourself. But the consciousness is other thing. The consciousness is, what can I need to do to control the best version of myself ever, no, with this imperfection and perfection way of living. No, well, I am as perfect as imperfect. Well, but when I can balance this personality, well, you need to use some techniques. Then I am using sport. I also sing. I like to sing a lot. Yeah, I like to sing a
uh,
lot, and I write. No, I am writing my book. My book will be humanistic. leadership. I'm very close to finish that part, and I am studying. No, I am right now in a PhD of humanistic development. Um, and well, my research is, of course, in what are the factors that really incide in a best version of every leader based in the human side. No.
We are always asking this question, and I think you'll be the great example to give. I mean, to actually be a recipient of the question.
Okay.
And I know you're an advisor and mentor to some companies as well, but for aspiring entrepreneurs, like what would be the top three pieces of advice that you would give?
Very simple. Love yourself. There is no way to do something else if you do not love yourself. If you love yourself, you can love others. If you love others, you will create the greater good. Now, the second one is develop your consciousness. To be conscious of yourself is it's superior skill. It's not soft skill. I need to be conscious about myself and also the impact that myself provoke to others. If you are not conscious of that, you are lost. No, you are in the wave or everyone. No, be conscious of yourself and establish a purpose. The third one is establish a purpose. The purpose should be bigger than you, not related to you. The purpose should be a question of what for I'm here. What is my really human responsibility? What I will deliver to the next generations? How can I create a better human side of our species? How can I keep the best possible ways of lives in the present and in the future? Your purpose should be bigger than you. And then probably, if you allow me, for work hard every
Right.
day to fulfill your purpose.
Okay. I like that. So love yourself, be conscious, have a purpose, and of course, it's connected to work hard. That's nice. That's nice. I have a personal connection with the one, like, be conscious. I feel very driven to that kind of, like, if you're conscious, you're also conscious about your decisions, like what drives your decisions. You can be more effective in business. I agree completely, 100%. But Jamie, that was my last question for today, and thank you very much for the second part. It was great, maybe even better than the first one. But I have a feeling that we could go on and on, because there are probably a thousand topics that we can connect. So I hope that sometime we will be able to get a volume three, maybe. But in the meantime, thank you very much for your time and for your advices and for sharing your story.
No, thank you. I am very happy you to invited me here. We need to talk about these things. If you see in that four, I never talk about business. Business are a pretext and it's an excuse of way of life. But well, if you invite me to talk about these things, I'm passionate about things, and I really appreciated your invitation. And thanks for your audience. I hope I can explain as better as I could my philosophy.
Stay in touch with us. Subscribe to our podcast. Give us a like, comment, or share. If you want to reach out personally, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram.